issue on girls and women. Today I'm chewing the Sours Extra Strawberry Flavored Gum. Do you want a piece? It's bright pink. It's a bright pink color. And it tastes really good. It's not that sour though. I'll chew that piece later. What the ADHD experience really feels like for females. Teen spirit, breakthrough estrogen therapies, understanding the fluctuations, the friendship pact, soar with the power of your intuitive, creative mind. The ADHD lifestyle, from navigating sleep to choosing the right career. Here's how to embrace your authentic best self. Mastering yoga, quieting the mind, and dozens of ways to boost productivity and focus. Okay. I'm really excited to look inside. Now, I need to apologize because I don't have a pop filter for my microphone because I left it 18 hours away in Montreal. So, please excuse me if my B's are a little strong today. This is a nice design too. Oh, down here we can't forget the fine print. Information in ADHD special issue on girls and women is provided for awareness, education, and general information only. Nothing in this magazine can replace advice from your physician, psychologist, or other healthcare professional. For diagnosis of any physical or mental condition and for treatment with any medication, supplement, or therapy, the reader must consult the appropriate licensed healthcare professionals. Contents. Look at all these faces. Contents. CONTENTS. So this is the table of contents. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Out of the shadows, younger, teen spirit, menopause, the camp girls. Balancing the brain, cognitive calisthenics, can you go without? The quiet mind, the yoga RX. Night owls, you only need one. Gamify your life. Get organized. Going with the flow. Advocate for you and yours. Toolkit. Okay. Finding a voice. Females are increasingly stepping forward to seek ADHD diagnoses. She's pretty. Who is this? It says, informed of her own diagnosis, a woman can bend the universe in her favor. Informed of her own diagnosis, a woman can bend the universe in her favor by changing her environment and advocating for her wants and needs. Heard that. She's really pretty. Pamela Weintraub is the editor here. Oh, this is a note from the editor, I see. Thanks, Pamela. Appreciate you, girl. Part 1, Across the Ages. Girls and women tend to have different signs and symptoms than boys and men. Here's what ADHD looks like in females and how to get help. This looks like a mom and a daughter. The daughter is wearing a navy blue button-up shirt, and the mother is wearing what looks like a dark brown and cream striped shirt. There's a beautiful sunset illuminating the background. Out of the shadows. ADHD looks different in females. With this new understanding, we can finally start to diagnose the girls and women we've been missing in time to help. By Jilly Khan, a PhD. Okay, Dr. Jilly. This is a really nice this is a really nice side profile photo of a beautiful girl. Meet Dana, a doll-like, verbally advanced 7-year-old girl with bright blue eyes framed by long, dark lashes. Is this her right here? Dana isn't disruptive. She makes up for her work, is generally well liked by her peers. Dana earns good grades. She's polite. She loves her teachers, and the feeling is mutual. That's really interesting because what it said here, I'm sorry, here when it says women tend to have different signs and symptoms than boys and men, usually, or it's very common for boys with ADHD to show different kinds of symptoms when they're younger in school. My brother, who has ADHD, was a lot more talkative, disruptive in class, and I, who also has ADHD, was actually pretty well behaved, other than the normal things that a kid would do in school to get in trouble every now and then. I actually was an AP student, and I was acquaintances with everyone, but I wasn't close with many people. And outside of school, I really spent most of my time alone. It's just different. It doesn't encompass all boys and all girls, but there are very common differences between the two. By the way, I know you guys can't see any of this text smaller this was the only way I could set up for the magazine. So I hope just the sounds are relaxing enough, and I hope to be able to use my better cameras soon. Make it official. When we have real criteria for female ADHD, it could embrace ideas like this. Younger. YOUNGER. The mission to diagnose girls by age 8 by the Cynthia Hammer. Hopefully this girl is seeing, it says down here, hopefully this girl is seeing a bright future through her paper telescope. Scientists are striving to find new methods that will allow diagnosis of ADHD in girls at younger ages, allowing earlier life-changing treatment. I do know that a lot of women don't get diagnosed until they are well into their adulthood. Oh, it says here, we routinely diagnose young boys because we are more aware of ADHD and hyperactive, disruptive little boys. Males have always been diagnosed more frequently than females. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Boys are diagnosed 2 to 3 times more often than girls and are on average diagnosed by age 7. When girls are diagnosed, it is frequently after 12 years of age and often not until adulthood. 5 ways to help your child stay on track in school. Pay special attention to routine, including mealtime, bedtime, and homework time. Set up a homework nook or station where your daughter can do her work on a regular basis. Use timers to track homework since ADHD children can lose track of time. Find her talents and help her pursue them so she feels good about herself. Help her to organize everything with colored folders, and when she is doing her homework, go through directions step by step with her to make sure she understands. Okay. Girls diagnosed with ADHD before age 8 will get a head start in dressing themselves, grooming themselves, and managing their personal needs. So true, so true, so true. It saddens me when adults tell me how their parents or teachers could have seen their ADHD when they were children. If only they knew what to look for. We need to do a better job of educating parents and teachers about ADHD in girls. Yeah. ADHD is a lifelong diagnosis, but the teenage years offer a critical period of plasticity. During this time, girls can address challenges and develop new habits and skills that will set them up for success. Mastering these changes later in adulthood would be much more difficult. Yeah. These girls look like soccer players, or maybe rugby. I'm not sure. It looks like soccer, but then again, I don't know. Anyways, go girls. Teen spirit. See many adolescents as... Wait, what does this say? Many see adolescence as something we survive, but for ADHD girls, it's time for growth. Okay, let me start over. I'm feeling rushy, but that's the point, is to take time. Take your time. Many see adolescence as something we survive, but for ADHD girls, it's a time for growth and retraining the malleable brain. As I scan these words, I can tell that it's going to be really interesting. But for the video, I'm just pulling things that I see, things that intrigue me. But I'll definitely take time to read the whole thing. Instead of viewing teen girls with ADHD as people caught in a Instead of viewing teen girls with ADHD as people caught in a self-defeating loop, the destructive behavior, it's time to capture the potential that adolescence confers. I'm gonna be honest, I lost track of that about halfway through. Did anyone else have that happen? Oh my gosh. Instead of viewing teen girls with ADHD as people caught in a self-defeating loop of destructive behavior, it's time to capture the potential that adolescence confers. Got it. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at this green. I love this. Our glasses are so cute to do. Very, very cute. It looks like she is watering some sort of grass. Like, I don't know plants like that, but some sort of indoor grass. I love the color of these counters. I love the earth tones. It says spending time in nature can help a teen girl with ADHD slow down and improve focus. If visiting a park or lake or working with plants like the young woman here isn't possible, simply having a view of nature from a window or playing on an open soccer field. Oh, it is a soccer field. Okay. It was soccer, not rugby. Can also be therapeutic. Menopause madness. Kimberly Quinn wrote this. Go Kimberly. Despite the plummet in estrogen and dopamine that may intensify symptoms, women with ADHD can thrive in midlife. It says the plummeting estrogen levels also lead to decreased levels of serotonin, another key player in mood regulation and focus. This can lead to the appearance of ADHD-like symptoms for our neurotypical midlife comrades. Interesting. It says menopause mimics ADHD symptoms. Neurotypical midlife women may experience some of the cognitive challenges faced by women with ADHD. Okay, Rang. Cute. I can't really read this from this far because of the color. This blue background and the white thin text, it's hard to read. It says, along with the complications menopause can bring during midlife, the self-awareness developed from managing ADHD symptoms and fluctuations over the years can help women with ADHD be much more cautious and safety conscious on the road. Interesting. Yeah, she's got a motorcycle. Or what looks like a motorcycle. I'm pretty sure, yeah. The Camp Girls. CAMP. This is cute. right skills and tools. It's a little butterfly. It's cute. This is part 2. The best treatments and therapies. Girls and women can benefit from new findings about estrogen, meds for focus, and evidence-based psychotherapies to quiet the mind. This woman is meditating and doing yoga. What yoga pose is this? Are there any yoga masters here? Isn't this like salute the sun or something like that? The only reason I sort of have a guess is because of Super Smash Bros. And the Wii character, the Wii Fit guy, does a pose like this or something similar and says salute the sun. So that's funny. If I actually get that correct, somebody who knows yoga, let me know. Very pretty though, my goodness. Look at how pretty the sky is. Wow, wow, wow. Such a pretty sky. And the water. Okay. Oh, I love these colors. Look at these colors. This texture too is just so nice. The lilacs and the blues. Such a good color palette. Balancing the brain. Balancing the brain. From stimulants to hormones, ADHD in girls and women can be partially treated with meds. I'm turning on that lamp because I feel like it'll help a little bit. Okay. Those with ADHD produce less dopamine. This deficit contributes to Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Deep breaths. I don't know, I randomly did like a little meditation thing, but I kind of like it. Is everybody good? Is everybody slowing down? Okay. Once ADHD is diagnosed, you'll find that most physicians see medication as a first-line treatment. It's understandable that people new to ADHD might balk, especially when it comes to psychopharmaceuticals for children. Yet, the drugs can be a powerful tool for increasing focus and decreasing hyperactivity by adjusting the levels of dopamine in the brain when there is an imbalance. So this section is interesting because it shows when the medications for ADHD came out. And it also shows what the DSM was calling ADHD throughout the years. It started with minimal brain dysfunction. I like the use of color here and how they go from red to like a green. It kind of signifies like progress into like from bad to good in a way. That's sort of what I'm getting. Or incomplete to more complete, I should say. Types of medicine. 3 categories of prescription psychopharmaceuticals typically treat those with ADHD. You have stimulants, non-stimulants, antidepressants. estrogen equation. When the hormone falls off or fluctuates, replacement therapy may help. This is by Christy Duan. When the sex hormones kick in, puberty typically begins between ages 8 and 13 in females. During this time of sexual maturation, the brain produces follicle-stimulating hormone FSH and luteinizing hormone LH, which then travel to the ovaries to trigger production of the sex hormones estrogen and progesterone. These sex hormones lead to both psychological and physical changes such as breast development and menstruation. Estrogen also affects neurotransmitters such as dopamine. I can't remember how to say that. Epinephrine, I know is the last part though. And serotonin, which impact mood, attention, and cognition. Interesting. Some women with ADHD find their symptoms worsen during spikes of estrogen. To manage this, some use birth control pills to stabilize hormone levels, while others report that estrogen patches are effective for improving memory and maintaining focus. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Cognitive calisthenics. ADHD is a good news diagnosis because once identified, specific techniques can help train your brain to manage and even leverage its complexities. Similar to how you would train your muscles, here are 6 effective therapies backed by substantial positive data from peer-reviewed studies. This is by Tasha. I can't say the last name, I'm so sorry. Tasha E. I just don't want to mispronounce it. Focusing on the present and reducing rumination are essential strategies for women with ADHD. Therapy can help you acknowledge and work with the positive aspects of ADHD. Your goal is to gain more control of the condition, but you don't want to slow it down. Okay. That's an interesting way of looking at it too. Like you're just trying to slow it down, you don't want to get rid of it. Cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, maybe DBT over here. Okay, I actually don't see DBT, but acceptance and commitment therapy. It teaches you to sit with difficult emotions and not run away from them. ACT comes from a place of self-compassion and gaining context for your life instead of focusing on what it should be. I mean, that just feels very much like the Power of Now. Like you're sort of learning to accept the present moment as enough and not feeling lack because you're basically just accepting that now is all you have and all you ever did have and all you ever will have is the present moment. Music therapy, nature-based therapy, structural family therapy. Can you go without? What are the costs and gains for women who decide to back off of their ADHD meds? By Karen Chesler. When women with ADHD feel side effects from their stimulant or other psychoactive drugs, they may decide to go off of them, at least for brief periods of time, but going cold turkey can make life go awry, with problems ranging from disorganization at work to graver outcomes such as relationship violence or suicidal thoughts. stationary stance, putting it all together. A structured routine, plenty of sleep, flexibility, creative outlets, therapy, and exercise can do wonders for women with ADHD. Oh, look at this page. This is also the beginning of part 3. This woman is wearing blue and purple goggles in a swimming pool. She's doing what looks like a backstroke. So this part is lifestyle strategies. Living well means mastering habits that nurture your brain. Here's how to sleep, exercise, make friends, and find your best self. I love this blue. The quiet mind. Slow down. Slow down. There's no rush. There is no rush. There's nowhere to get to. There is nothing to accomplish. You don't need to feel guilty for taking time for yourself. This girl is doing some meditation at the end of a dock around a beautiful lake. Practicing mindfulness in nature can reduce our tendency to mind wander and improve our ability to stay present. By observing trees, mountains, or calm lakes, what does it say here? We strengthen our concentration and prevent emotional overwhelm. After a little training, you can accomplish mindfulness all by yourself. Here's how. I really encourage you, if you haven't, to look into mindfulness or the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I think it's his last name. I think that's how you pronounce it. His first name's Eckhart, though. Such a good book. Mindfulness practices can physically change the brain, creating more neural activity associated with attention, decision-making, organizing, planning, and memory. A counterbalance to ADHD's deficits. That was Miss Tasha again, telling us about mindfulness. Monkey mind, what's this? Because sitting still and training your attention on one thing for long periods of time can be difficult when you have ADHD. There are protocols that ease people into mindfulness a few minutes at a time. You can start with an informal 3 to 5 minute session that focuses on sensory awareness, like how something tastes or smells, working your way up to 15 minutes of seated meditation. These 3 simple exercises can help you master the basics of mindfulness. Master breathing. Master breathing first. Beginners can start with a practice called Stop, available on Lydia Zylowska's YouTube channel under the handle focus of yoga combined with its emphasis on concentration creates an ideal practice for women with ADHD who want to strengthen both their bodies and minds. For those feeling especially motivated, enhancing a yoga routine with additional physical challenges can help achieve optimal mind-body fitness. Yoga movement plus mindfulness can create magical conditions for finding focus and taming impulsivity. Here's why yoga could be the workout you're looking for. That's cool. That's a cool picture. Movement has saved my life and brought me to deeper awareness of my differences. When combined with other strategies, it is an incredible treatment. Here are tips for how to try on yoga practice. Get clear on your why. Focus on why you are starting yoga. Rosie Turner says, who do you become through the practice? What do you gain and why is this important to you? Experiment with different classes. Let go of perfectionism. This is something that I struggle with a lot. Yoga isn't about being good or bad at it. It's called a practice for a reason. What yoga gives me far outweighs the fear of failure or judgment. Interesting. I like that. What yoga gives me far outweighs the fear or failure of judgment. Or failure or judgment. I mean, you could put whatever you want here. Like, whatever you struggle with. The benefit far outweighs the fear of whatever you fear happening. The benefit that you get from exercise. Night owls. No, this is me. My sleep schedule has never been great unless I am fairly intentional about having a good sleep schedule. Understanding the connection between ADHD and late night wakefulness and how to manage it. I'm definitely going to read this part. The biggest misconception is that I can just fix my sleep schedule. I can stay up for 24 hours and I'm still not falling asleep until 4 a.m. that morning. Yeah. The tendency to stay up late may be another aspect of neurodiversity, one that often accompanies ADHD. This trait, known as a late or evening chronotype, cannot be altered through standard insomnia treatments and instead calls for radical acceptance. I love these colors, by the way. This mauve, like rosy mauve, and this dark blue. This is cool. Simple strategies like wearing a mask to block out light often aren't effective for people with ADHD. Their natural internal clock tends to keep them awake much later than an average. As a result, finding a career that accommodates a later sleep schedule can be essential. Sleep hygiene. If you have a neurodivergent chronotype, these recommendations can help. Limit exposure to screens before bedtime, because the light delays melatonin release even more. Start with no screens 15 minutes before bed and then extend that out to an hour over time. Taking melatonin 1 to 2 hours before bed can help you fall asleep, though it doesn't help with staying asleep. Although melatonin is most effective in lower doses, such as 0.3 to 1 milligram. routines that help you wind down before bed. Whether it's a favorite light snack, taking a hot bath, reading, meditating, or other calming activities. Make your room as dark and as quiet as possible. Consider using white noise to block out any kind of a background that could just keep you awake, even if it's just a dripping faucet. Ooh, I can't stand stuff like that. Like even the tiniest little noise. Keep the bedroom cooler so that you can curl up under the covers. Try a weighted blanket. Gotta have cold AC at night. I love it to be cooler. Avoid caffeine during the second half of the day and avoid or reduce alcohol intake, especially before bed. Even if alcohol knocks you out, it disturbs your sleep patterns. Get sleepy with a boring audiobook or podcast. Get exposure to sunlight as early as the day. Get exposure to sunlight as early in the day as possible. Go to bed and wake up as close to the same time on each day as possible. Get regular exercise. For some, exercising right before sleeping is too stimulating, but for others it helps them calm down. Learn what works for you. You only need one. I'm just sitting here reading my magazine for y'all. When it comes to buddies, less can be more. Is one friend actually enough? For girls with ADHD, friendship can be prickly but warm. Part 4. I love her earrings. I think this is also a mother and daughter. And I love this sweater too. Crushing it. Yes, challenges exist, but the neurodivergent ADHD brain provides women with remarkable intuition and creativity. To harness its full potential, explore these effective strategies for enhancing memory, focus, and productivity. Gamify your life. Your brain thrives on novelty and surprise, so embrace them. To tackle mundane tasks, incorporate games and creative approaches that bring excitement and keep you engaged. Spice things up. Fidgets, work buddies, and a touch of sparkle can make tasks more engaging, spark new ideas, and boost motivation to follow through. Find a body double. I love body doubling. I watch a lot of ASMR-based body doubling on YouTube when I'm doing my work or just wanting to relax. Oh, and phone, and even something as simple as an old school alarm clock to stop you from falling into the endless abyss of a task are critical tools. This one is huge for me. I also do not have a good sense of telling how much time something is going to take. I often underestimate and say it's only going to take an hour, and then it ends up taking me like 4 or 5 hours. So I feel like I have a weird, distorted sense of time when it comes to that too. This is like a fish frog. Women with ADHD are known for extraordinary creativity, but not in every sphere of life. Their creative energy is poured most fiercely into these projects and endeavors that they care about passionately, providing them with the greatest reward. Going with the flow. Slow down. Slow down. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Getting to the source. Our brain is composed of groups of finely tuned orchestrated systems, also known as brain networks. In neurotypical brains, the task positive network, or TPN, activates when we are focused on a specific goal. For example, when someone faces a deadline for a college paper, their TPN is mostly active while they're sitting, planning, and writing their paper. Another one of these brain networks, the default mode network, DMN, ideally lowers its volume during the paper writing process so that it doesn't interfere with completing the actual assignment. Composed of the brain areas that drive imagination and mind wandering, the DMN generally raises its volume or becomes more active when we're in a resting state, not actively working on the task in front of us. The DMN is the master of the night, often when we are dreaming and asleep. The DMN steers the ship when you sit in front of a book and suddenly realize you've spent the last few minutes unintentionally living in your own head. Your body was facing the book, but your body was reviewing perhaps a social mistake you made, what others may be thinking about you because of those mistakes and how you might fix them in the future, all while the concrete task that is part of the physical world sits in front of you, neglected and untouched. Oops. The DMN places heavy emphasis on thoughts relevant to our interactions with others, which is what most women tend to think about the most. Interesting. What is this? Divergent thinkers. Females with ADHD often come up with surprising and imaginative solutions by letting their mind wander, combining disparate elements in ways that might be hard to achieve through analysis alone. What is this? It's cool, I just don't know what it is. Something is always born of excess. Great art was born of great terrors, great loneliness, great instabilities, and it always balances them. Okay. I like that. Advocate for you and yours. Make the world bend your way by asserting your rights and asking for what you need. What you can ask for. Among the accommodations parents can request on an IEP, psychologist Ellen Littman, PhD, mentions more time on tests and a quiet, distraction-free place to take them. study buddy who is friendly and organized, regular breaks where she can move around. It says, by evaluating each child's individual strengths and needs, parents and teachers can develop strategies that help students with ADHD reach their full potential. These girls often have such great minds and talents. They see things in a global perspective. They really can thrive. This is a child who can be very brilliant in a way that you never expected. Whether or not you choose to disclose your ADHD to your employer and colleagues, your work life will be less stressful and more successful if you clearly communicate your needs as well as the tasks and conditions that help you perform at your best. Church. Some kids need advocacy through college, but it gets less and less. If adults with neurotypical brains still have trouble standing up for themselves, it should come as no surprise that it takes time for girls with ADHD to self-advocate. TOOLKIT. Toolkit. This girl has a long ponytail. This is really cute, and it is really couture. A self-help guide for ADHDers, their partners, daughters, mothers, sisters, and friends. Organizations. ADHD Girls is an online platform and compassion-based community that offers workshops, keynotes, training, support, a podcast, a YouTube channel, and a range of other information sources to empower neurodivergent women and non-binary individuals with the knowledge, skills, and resources they need to advocate for themselves and thrive in the world. That's ADHD Girls. And then we have Duke Center for Girls and Women with ADHD. It's one of the nation's only programs dedicated to educating patients, families, clinicians, educators, and the public about unique needs of girls and women with ADHD across their lifespan. The center empowers ADHD women through outreach, education, newsletters, community engagement, and promoting and undertaking cutting-edge research to improve diagnosis and treatment. This will help women make informed decisions and provide parents with tools to seek appropriate treatments and care for their daughters. And then we have CHAD, Children and Adults with Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It's the largest organization supporting those with ADHD. Its annual conference can be attended either in person or online, so parents, professionals, and patients can participate worldwide. It also sponsors local chapters and networks for parents to connect. That's CHAD. ADA, Attention Deficit Disorder Association, is dedicated to adults with ADHD, starting with a symptoms checklist on the homepage. Okay, so they do webinars too. The Child Mind Institute, for parents who want an accurate, concise primer that clearly and cleanly gives the basics. There's nothing better than the organization's quick guide to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. To find it, go to the website at childmind.org and search for ADHD. And then we have Minds of All Kinds. Empowers neurodivergent people, including those with ADHD, peers and exchange experiences, both successes and challenges. We recommend joining the peer group in your community or online. Joining a peer group. Many of the organizations mentioned here provide links to these resources, but for adults, start by exploring ADA, the Attention Deficit Disorder Association. Okay. I love her here. We got some books here. Divergent Mind. ADD Friendly Ways to Organize Your Life. Straight Talk About ADHD in Girls. Your Brain's Not Broken. Women with ADHD. Feminist's Guide to ADHD. How to Keep Your House While Drowning. How to Keep House While Drowning. That sounds interesting. Understanding Girls with ADHD. Oh, and then they have a link here for ADHD and marriage. Go to ADHDmarriage.com. It'll give you some strategies to improve the relationship. It's got tools and resources and tips for therapists even who are treating couples. Okay. We got apps. Marvin incorporates principles from behavioral psychology to help you beat procrastination, feel in control, and finish your to-do list. Calm for guided meditation, relaxation, and resources for de-stressing. Do, so you can set reminders and timers for all that you do. Focus at Will offers music to help you focus, optimized by science. Well, this is really pretty too. This reminds me of like an old yearbook design or something. It looks kind of like my middle school yearbook. That's so funny. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were able to relax and slow down. Slow down. Slow down. I really enjoyed flipping through this with you guys. I'm definitely going to read more in depth about some of these articles because it definitely seems like it'll be really informative. But I appreciate you being here today, and I hope that you get some good sleep or have a good day. I'll see